A wish for a lifetime. The bell rang for the last time at Rosewood High School, and for the senior students, it marked the end of an era. No more classes, no more homework, no more exams. The future waited, but there was a bittersweet feeling in the air. Among those students were four best friends: Ryan, Maya, Alex, and Sophia, who had spent the last few years together, facing the ups and downs of school life. They had been through everything: stressful exams, lunchroom dramas, and countless adventures. As the excitement of graduation slowly began to settle, the group felt a strange pull toward someone they hadn't seen in a while, but who had made a significant impact on their lives: Ms. Diana, their former teacher. Ms. Diana was the one who had seen potential in them, even when they doubted themselves. She was known for her wisdom, kindness, and her ability to push students beyond their limits with love and care. She had retired a year ago due to health reasons, but the bond she shared with these four students remained strong. "Guys, we should visit Ms. Diana," Maya suggested one afternoon, as they sat in their favorite cafe, reminiscing about their school days. "That's a great idea," Alex exclaimed. "It's been so long. We owe her so much." Sophia nodded in agreement, and she always said we should never forget where we came from. Ryan, who was the more practical one, added, "Maybe we should bring her something like flowers or chocolates. Something thoughtful." The group quickly decided that they would visit Ms. Diana that weekend. They were excited to see her again, to thank her for all that she had done for them, and to share their post-graduation plans. But little did they know that this visit would change the course of their lives and Ms. Diana's in a way none of them could have ever imagined. Saturday arrived, and the group stood outside Ms. Diana's cozy cottage on the edge of town. It was a charming little house surrounded by a garden full of blooming flowers, just as they remembered it. Nervously, Maya knocked on the door. After a few moments, the door opened, and there she was, Ms. Diana, looking a little older and frilier, but with the same warm smile that had welcomed them so many times before. Well, look who's here." Ms. Diana greeted them, her voice full of joy. "My favorite students. Come in, come in." They entered the house, which was filled with the smell of fresh-baked cookies and the sound of soft classical music in the background. It was just like old times. After settling into the living room with plates of cookies and cups of tea, the conversation flowed naturally. They talked about school, their plans for college, and all the little memories they had shared over the years. Ms. Diana listened intently, occasionally giving her wise advice, just as she always had. But after a while, Sophia, who was always curious, asked Ms. Diana, "We've been talking so much about us, but what about you? How have you been? What's been on your mind lately?" Ms. Diana paused for a moment, her smile fading slightly. She glanced out of the window, lost in thought, before turning back to the group. "Well, my dears," she began, her voice softer now, "I've lived a long, fulfilling life. I've had the privilege of teaching so many wonderful students like you. But if I'm being honest, there is one wish that I've always had, and it hasn't come true yet." The room fell silent. The students exchanged curious glances. "What wish, Ms. Diana?" Ryan asked gently. Ms. Diana hesitated before continuing. "You see, ever since I was young, I've always wanted to visit the mountains. There's something magical about them, so grand, so serene. I used to dream about sitting by a mountain lake, watching the sunrise. But life happened. I got busy with teaching, with work, and as time passed, I never made the journey. And now, with my health, well, let's just say it's unlikely I'll ever get to fulfill that dream." The students were taken aback. Ms. Diana, the woman who had given them so much, had this one unfulfilled wish that seemed so simple, yet so unattainable. "That's really sad," Maya whispered. "Why didn't you tell us before?" Alex asked, his brow furrowed with concern. Ms. Diana chuckled softly. "Oh, don't worry about me. It's just a little wish, after all. I've had a wonderful life. I don't regret anything." But her words didn't sit well with the four friends. They had all felt her unwavering support over the years, and now they wanted to give something back. They exchanged a silent look, and in that moment, they knew they had to do something. As they left Ms. Diana's house that evening, the four friends gathered to discuss what they had heard. "We have to make her wish come true," Ryan said, his voice firm. "But how? She's not well enough to travel on her own," Maya pointed out. "We'll take her," Sophia said suddenly, her eyes lighting up with determination. "We'll plan a trip to the mountains, and we'll take her with us. It'll be a surprise." Alex nodded. "I love that idea. She's done so much for us. It's time we do something for her." The group quickly got to work, planning every detail. They decided on a beautiful mountain range a few hours' drive from their town, known for its picturesque views and peaceful atmosphere. They would rent a cabin near a lake, just as Ms. Diana had always dreamed. But they knew it wasn't just about logistics. They wanted this trip to be perfect, so they started planning little surprises along the way, things that would make Ms. Diana's dream even more special. A month later, everything was ready. The four friends arrived at Ms. Diana's house with a car packed full of supplies. They had told her that they were going to take her out for a special day, but they hadn't revealed the full extent of their plan. Ms. Diana greeted them at the door, looking both excited and a little confused. "What's all this?" she asked, eyeing the packed car. "You'll see," Ryan grinned. They helped her into the car, and as they drove, Ms. Diana tried to guess where they were going. But as the scenery changed from city streets to rolling hills and towering trees, her curiosity grew. "Are we going to the mountains?" she finally asked, her voice filled with surprise. After a few hours, they arrived at the cabin. It was nestled at the edge of a crystal-clear lake, with a breathtaking view of the surrounding mountains. The air was fresh, and the scent of pine filled the atmosphere. Ms. Diana's eyes widened in amazement as she stepped out of the car. This is exactly what I've always dreamed of," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "Surprise!" Maya exclaimed, throwing her arms around Ms. Diana. The teacher looked around, taking in every detail. "I can't believe you did this for me," she said, tears welling up in her eyes. "It's the least we could do," Alex said softly. "You've given us so much." We wanted to give something back. The next few days were filled with joy and peace. The group spent their time exploring the mountains, sitting by the lake, and enjoying the beauty of nature. Every morning, they would wake up early to watch the sunrise with Ms. Diana, just as she had always dreamed. The sun would rise slowly over the mountains, casting a golden glow over the lake, and for those few moments, everything felt perfect. Ms. Diana's health seemed to improve as well. The fresh mountain air and the happiness of being with her former students gave her a new sense of energy. She laughed, told stories, and even joined them on short hikes around the cabin. One evening, as they all sat around a campfire, Ms. Diana spoke, her voice filled with gratitude. "I've lived a good life, but this is something I'll never forget. You've made my dream come true." The students smiled, their hearts full of happiness. They had set out to give Ms. Diana a gift, but in the process, they had gained something far more valuable, a deeper connection with the woman who had shaped their lives in so many ways. On the last day of their trip, the group sat by the lake one final time, watching the sunrise together. There was a quiet sense of fulfillment in the air, as though they had all been part of something truly special. As they packed up to leave, Ms. Diana pulled each of them aside to give them a personal message. To Ryan, she said, "You're going to do great things. Just remember to always believe in yourself." To Maya, she said, "Never lose that spark of curiosity. It will take you places you've never imagined." To Alex, she said, "You have a kind heart. Don't be afraid to show it to the world." And to Sophia, she said, "Your strength is your greatest gift. Use it wisely." As they drove back home, there was a peaceful silence in the car. The group knew that this experience had changed them.